We spend so much of our time debating premium AI tools. We argue over which $20 subscription is technically superior. But we kind of miss the bigger picture sometimes.
Right, yeah. Like the fact that by April 2026, a completely free AI model quietly approached 1 billion downloads.
1 billion. That is just a massive number. It really makes you realize that a massive, free, almost Android-like AI ecosystem has quietly taken over.
It absolutely has.
Yeah.
And it's completely shifting the developer space.
Welcome to the deep dive, everyone. I'm really looking forward to this one. Today, our mission is unpacking the Alibaba Qwen ecosystem.
Yeah, and from the sources we've looked at, this is not just another browser chatbot.
No, not at all. It's a 7-tool suite. It functions way less like a simple app and, much more like a lightweight AI operating system.
Exactly. It's a fundamental shift. It connects your local file system directly to cloud-based coding environments.
I have to admit, I still wrestle with subscription fatigue myself.
No, I think we all do, right?
Yeah, you pay for a premium text model, then you need an image generator, then a coding assistant. It adds up so fast. There's just a real friction there.
It becomes a heavy tax on the user. And, well, that's exactly the vulnerability Alibaba is targeting here.
They're just bypassing that $20 gateway entirely.
They are. They're keeping their core frontier models free under an Apache 2.0 open source license.
It's a fascinating strategy. I mean, it really mirrors what Google did with Android in the early smartphone days.
Oh, that's a perfect analogy. Google didn't try to sell the operating system.
Right. They gave it away to hardware makers for free. They just wanted to control the ecosystem.
Because they knew the monetization would naturally follow later. And it's working incredibly well for Qwen right now.
Yeah, they've passed 200 million monthly active users. Over half of all open source model downloads are Qwen models now.
People just care less about a tiny coding benchmark. They care about practical workflows they can actually use daily.
Which is a great segue into where this actually starts. We usually think of AI as a remote brain on a server.
Right, trapped in a browser tab.
Exactly. But Qwen Desktop shifts the model directly onto your local machine. It basically takes over your actual desktop environment.
Yeah, and the mechanism behind this is called MCP. It's been making a lot of waves recently. That stands for Model Context Protocol.
Let me make sure I'm wrapping my head around this. If I had to define it, MCP is a bridge letting AI use your actual computer tools directly.
That is exactly right. Normally, an AI is totally blind to your actual machine.
It can't read your files. It doesn't know what apps are open.
And it definitely can't click any buttons.
It's like a brain in a jar. It has profound thoughts, but no hands to interact with the world.
I love that metaphor, yes. MCP gives the AI hands. It lets Qwen scan your local folders, rename documents, and use system utilities.
Whoa. I mean, imagine an AI organizing your chaotic downloads folder automatically. Beat just scanning randomly named PDFs, renaming them, and sorting them while you grab a coffee.
It is a profound level of automation for daily productivity.
But historically, setting up MCP has been a nightmare, right?
Oh, completely. You had to act like a systems engineer. Editing complex JSON files, installing node servers.
Messing with path variables. Yeah, it's intimidating. So does setting up MCP require running complicated local servers?
No, the app handles everything internally with simple toggle switches. 2-sec silence.
So the app handles it all with simple toggles. That's brilliant.
Yeah, you just open the Qwen desktop settings, click the MCP tab, and just flip a switch for pre-configured tools.
They're just abstracting away all that command line terror, making it a native OS feature.
Yeah.
Beat. So once your local environment is organized, the next hurdle is building actual workflows.
Right, moving from organizing files to creating entirely new applications in the browser.
And that brings us to Qwen Studio. This is where things get really creative.
Yeah, Qwen Studio has this feature called Artifacts. It's powered by their Qwen 3.6 Plus model.
I looked into how artifacts work, and the mechanics are just fascinating. It's not just spitting out text code for you to copy.
No, the model is actually writing front-end code, usually React components.
And then the browser instantly renders that code in an isolated iframe right next to your chat.
You literally go from a text prompt to a fully interactive user interface in seconds.
Yeah.
It totally removes the barrier to entry for software creation.
Let's ground this with a specific example from the sources, the Fit Menu AI app.
Oh yeah, the meal planning app.
If I have zero coding experience, how do I build that?
It's as simple as chatting. You tell Qt you want a meal planning app. You ask for input fields for a grocery budget, cooking times, and dietary restrictions.
And because of that rendering engine, it instantly builds a working UI. You can type your budget in, select vegan from a drop-down, and hit generate.
and it outputs a structured weekly meal plan and a shopping list. It feels like having a senior developer sitting right over your shoulder.
It's incredible for lightweight internal workflows, like spinning up a custom invoice calculator or a team social media calendar.
Exactly. You ask for a grid layout, and it just builds it.
Hmm.
But we should define the boundaries here, too.
I'm glad you brought that up. There's a lot of hype in the no-code space. Tools like Cursor or Replit are changing professional software. Can this replace platforms like Cursor for complex production-level projects?
No, it's strictly best for quick prototypes and lightweight personal apps. Beat.
So it's really just for quick prototypes, not production.
Exactly. That's a crucial distinction.
Hmm.
Cursor is built for heavy lifting. Complex backends, secure user authentication, large databases.
Qwen Studio is entirely client-side. It doesn't have a secure backend database attached out of the box.
Right. If you're building the next Airbnb, you need a full development environment. But for a personal budget tracker, Qwen Studio is unmatched.
And it keeps you in that free ecosystem. We'll take a quick break here. Sponsor.
All right, we are back. So before the break, we covered logical app building and local file management.
But if you're building an interface, you eventually need assets, images, video.
Usually that breaks your workflow. You have to open a new tab for Midjourney, log into Runway, juggle more subscriptions. Context switching just destroys human productivity. But with Qwen, visual generation happens inside that exact same unified chat interface.
Let's talk about the image model first. The sources give a very specific example here. You can prompt it for a photorealistic lion sitting next to a laptop on a wooden desk.
With natural sunlight filtering through a window. And it generates it instantly with really striking realism.
But what's really interesting is the model's limitations. They reveal how it was actually built.
Yeah, especially when it comes to rendering text inside those images.
Right. If you ask it to render English text on that laptop screen, it does it beautifully. Same with complex Chinese characters.
But if you try to render text in languages like Spanish, it totally falls apart. It hallucinates strange layouts and spelling errors.
Why does that happen mechanically? I mean, functionally, Spanish uses the same Latin alphabet as English.
It comes down to the training data. The data set was heavily weighted toward massive English and Mandarin text corpuses.
And diffusion models don't actually understand letters. They learn visual geometric patterns.
Exactly. The model simply hasn't seen enough visual examples of Spanish text patterns to accurately reconstruct them.
That makes perfect sense. It's about statistical probability, not linguistic understanding.
Yeah, but even with that limit, the editing workflow is incredibly smooth. You don't need Photoshop layers.
You can just upload a selfie and use natural language. You type, add that photorealistic lion sitting next to me.
And it ensures your phone stays visible in your hand, matches the ambient lighting.
So it doesn't look like a cheap sticker, it just blends perfectly.
And then, Qwen takes it a step further with 2.7, their video generation model.
This is where things get computationally heavy. You take that edited selfie and directly in the chat, ask the AI to convert it into a 5-second video.
You can even specify a 1080p resolution rendering at 30 frames per second.
Under the hood, this uses latent video diffusion. It takes the spatial data and adds a temporal dimension, predicting pixel shifts frame by frame.
It's complex, so it takes about 3 to 5 minutes to render. But the output is a clip where you're smiling naturally and the lion subtly moves its head.
And it's completely free, which is wild given the server costs for video generation.
It's fantastic for short social clips. But again, we have to be honest about the boundaries here compared to paid tools like Kling or Runway.
Right. Did these videos handle multi-character scenes or complex camera movements well?
No, it is definitely best for simple motion and short social clips. 2-sec silence.
Got it. Best for simple motion and social clips.
Yeah. If you ask for a cinematic camera pan, the temporal consistency breaks down. The background morphs.
Or if two characters are shaking hands, the pixels just meld together into a messy hallucination. It's not rendering a Hollywood short film.
Exactly. But zooming out, you have a workflow from text prompt to image to video animation, all in one free chat window.
It's a robust creative suite. But let's pivot back to power users and developers.
Right. What if you need to execute logical operations securely?
That brings us to Qwen Code and Qwen Coder. This is where it becomes a serious utility.
Qwen Code is a terminal AI agent, and Qwen Coder is a fully integrated, cloud-based coding workspace.
With the terminal agent, you don't even need to grant it terminal access on your physical machine, which is a massive security risk anyway.
Oh yeah, you do not want an AI hallucinating a command that formats your hard drive.
Absolutely not. Everything runs securely in an isolated browser environment. The source gives a great Python script example.
You can ask the agent to scan an entire project folder, look at nested files, and generate a markdown summary.
And it writes the script, executes it in that sandbox, catalogs the file sizes, maps the directory, and outputs the summary instantly.
You review it without ever opening a local terminal. And this workflow is supercharged by their OpenRouter integration.
OpenRouter has been everywhere in DevDocs lately, but how does that integration actually work in practice?
It's basically a unified API aggregator. Instead of making 50 accounts for different models, OpenRouter gives you one interface.
And it connects to dozens of free open-weights models.
Precisely. So when Qwen Coder integrates with it, you route your code execution through free endpoints, bypassing expensive proprietary APIs.
Cloud Code is powerful, but it requires a paid sub and you hit limits fast. Qwen Coder provides a zero-cost starting point for real development.
You can connect it directly to your GitHub repos and just start iterating.
That brings us to the final and maybe most philosophically interesting piece of this ecosystem.
Local deployment.
Everything so far relies on the cloud. But what if you are dealing with sensitive intellectual property or personal financial data?
You want to take the model completely offline, and that's where tools like Ollama come in. You literally download the actual neural network weights onto your hardware.
The AI lives entirely on your silicon. Your data never leaves your device, no processing queues, zero API fees.
Historically, the challenge was hardware constraints. You needed a massive, expensive graphics card.
Right. But these Qwen models scale down beautifully. They offer highly compressed versions with under 1 billion parameters, using a process called quantization.
Yeah. If we define quantization simply, it's shrinking the model's memory footprint so it fits on normal devices.
It's like taking a massive, uncompressed WAV audio file and converting it to an MP3. You lose microscopic fidelity, but it fits on an old iPod.
It converts high-precision floating point numbers into smaller 4-bit integers, which reduces RAM requirements by like 75%.
That small size means you can run these models on low-power devices. Like, why would someone choose to run an AI model locally on an iPhone?
You get total privacy and zero reliance on cloud servers or the internet. Beat.
Total privacy and zero reliance on the cloud. That is huge.
It's all about ultimate control and data sovereignty. Nobody's harvesting your personal journal entries or health data for training.
And if you're on a plane without Wi-Fi, your AI still works perfectly. It's true digital independence.
Let's pull all these threads together, because the big idea here is profound.
It really is. The true value of the Alibaba Qwen ecosystem isn't about beating OpenAI on every single esoteric technical benchmark.
No, it's about providing a highly practical, frictionless workflow. An end-to-end free ecosystem for the tasks people actually do every day.
It is the ultimate gap filler. We all hit our free tier limits, we hit the paywall, get frustrated, but don't want another $20 subscription.
Qwen steps into that exact moment perfectly.
You get desktop file control via MCP, no-code app building with artifacts,
Creative image and video generation, and secure local coding environments.
If you're listening and wondering where to start, our sources provide a clear guide. Pick the specific tool that solves the problem you have today.
Use the desktop app for your chaotic files. Try Qwen Studio for a quick budget tracker.
Jump into WAN 2.7 for a quick B-roll clip, or download Ollama if you need strict privacy.
Pick just one and try it today. It costs nothing but a few minutes.
And I think it will completely change how you view the necessity of these premium AI tools. It really shifts the landscape beneath our feet.
It does.
Yeah.
And it leaves us with a very provocative thought to chew on.
Right. If an entire ecosystem, complete with desktop agents, no-code builders, video generators, and coding assistants, becomes a standard, free public utility, like a basic operating system, what happens to the future of the $20 a month AI subscription model?
It is a massive existential question that every major AI company has to answer very soon.
It certainly is. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep questioning the tools you use, and we will see you next time.